Before this story begins, I want to ask you something. Have you ever wondered at what age a child stops being a child? Is it when they grow older or when life forces them to? Some people don't lose their innocence slowly. It's taken from them in one moment, one home, one childhood that felt more like survival than life. Welcome to Mindset Money, where we don't just talk about success. We talk about the mind behind the struggle. Because before you change your life, you must understand your story. And today, this story is about Eli, a boy who wasn't born broken, angry, or lost. He came into the world like any child, curious, hopeful, and full of dreams. But his home was not a safe place. His father came home filled with anger, and his mother hid in silence. Eli learned to move quietly, memorizing every sound in the house so he wouldn't trigger anything. The dinner table felt like a battlefield where words were thrown like weapons and no one apologized. What hurt Eli most was not just the chaos, it was the pretending. Everyone acted as if nothing was wrong. The silence became the biggest wound. Trauma doesn't stay in memories. It settles in the body. It changes how a person sees the world and themselves. It taught Eli that he wasn't safe and he wasn't worthy. As he grew older, the mask grew with him. He became charming, funny, and adaptable. People liked him. But inside, he felt empty, like a burnt room with only the walls standing. Slowly, the cracks began to show. Sleepless nights, a constant feeling that something was wrong, then anger, paranoia, and self-hatred. Relationships became difficult. He pushed people away, then begged them to stay. Love became confusion. He tried therapy once, telling the therapist he couldn't feel anything and didn't recognize himself in the mirror. But the real pain was deeper than any label could explain. Unhealed trauma doesn't disappear. It waits. Eli began talking to himself. Real conversations, arguments, and fears. He carried a notebook, writing thoughts that didn't make sense to anyone else. His friends thought he changed, but the truth was that he was simply tired of hiding. He wasn't going crazy. He was exhausted. The mind can only hold so much before it breaks. When the past stays buried, it becomes heavier with time. Eli started seeing patterns in meaningless things. He felt as if the world was sending him messages. In reality, his mind was trying to create order from years of chaos. He wasn't fighting memories. He was carrying the weight of abandonment, silence, and grief. One day, he began writing not to understand, but to release. His pages were filled with drawings, scribbles, and one sentence written again and again. I didn't deserve this. For the first time, he allowed himself to feel the anger, the sadness, the truth. And with that, a small spark of hope returned. Healing didn't start with motivation. It started with honesty. Eli went back to therapy, this time without pretending. He cried for the child who grew up too fast, and for the adult who never felt safe. He wasn't fully healed, but he was no longer lost. He realized the madness wasn't the enemy. It was a message from the parts of him he had ignored. If you've ever felt like you're breaking, remember this. You're not broken. You're buried. Healing is not becoming someone new. It's remembering who you were before the pain. Start small. Sit in silence. Write. Feel. Don't rush. Because the world doesn't need more people wearing masks. It needs people who faced their darkness and found themselves again.